What's up, guys? I just got done shooting the review on the Red Cat Ascent 18 real quick because everyone's gonna say, oh, your smoke alarms are going off. That's my feet. So my J's. Oh, it's not gonna get them, but yeah, my shoes make that noise. Anyways, in that review, the truck stopped working. Basically, I don't have any throttle, and I thought, you know what? This is gonna be a good time to show you guys what I do when you have to troubleshoot why your RC car stopped moving. So let's do this. All right, so here is the truck. The first reason why your car probably stopped moving, the first thing you want to check is the battery. Is the battery all the way charged? A lot of times your ESC will turn on, but because of LiPo cutoff, depending on what ESC you have, it just won't move the car. In this case, I know my battery is charged. And what you want to see is you want to see some light in your ESC. So I'm going to power it on. I see the light in ESC. The next thing you want to check is steering. Does your car have steering? If your car has steering, that means the receiver is getting power, the ESC is getting power because the ESC has to send power to your receiver in order for your steering to work. If you don't have steering, but your ESC is powered on, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be your receiver. Either your ESC is not plugged into your receiver, so your receiver is not getting power, or your receiver might just be bad. In this case, the receiver does work, so it is getting signal, the remote's bound up, everything's good. Now, the obvious thing is if your receiver's plugged in and you see your receiver's lit up and everything's on and your remote's not working, maybe it needs to be rebound or rebinded. Is it bound or binded? I always mess that one up. You might have to bind it again, or your remote's broken. Now, I will say remotes, and not just this remote, remotes in general or transmitters in general are pretty robust. It's likely not your transmitter. However, that's something you do want to check if everything on the car is on and you're still not getting anything. So in this case, again, everything works. The receiver is getting power, the LiPo battery is charged up, but I'm not getting any throttle. So the first thing I want to do is I want to check to see if it's the motor. And the way I can do that, the only way to do that is to pretty much hook the motor up to another receiver. And I hope I don't have to bust another one of these out of the box, but we're gonna try to hook it up to another receiver and see if the motor will turn. So I was looking at this and it looks like the motor, the way you connect the motor is the exact same as like a Spectrum or STX24. So I think I can hook the motor, and this one does work. I think I can hook the motor directly up to this guy and see if it turns the motor. Because the connector does look exactly the same. Just make sure the polarity is right. It does look right. Just gonna plug this guy in here, power it on. Interesting. Oh, that's not, yeah, it should move the motor. So it looks like the motor stopped working. Now how we'll know for sure is we're gonna plug this motor into the bad car, or what we think is the bad car. This should, if it is the motor, this should, when I hit this throttle on the Red Cat, it should move this car, and it does. So it is the motor, but that's the troubleshooting you wanna do. It's either the motor or ESC in that case. So this motor is bad. Now, that's pretty crazy because usually motors don't go bad like that. Motors go bad if they get burnt up, but this for sure is the freaking motor. I'm wondering if I like broke the wire or the lead or something like that, but I should be able to plug this back in. Everything should work as designed. Yep. All right, so that's how you figure it out. It's the motor. Essentially just start switching stuff out until you get it working. Now, if you start switching stuff out and you still can't figure it out, what I have seen is sometimes there's a short in the servo that causes the ESC to act crazy. When I say start switching stuff out, I mean, I'm talking about start switching everything out. If you can't find the problem, switch out the ESC, then switch out the motor, then switch out the receiver, but do it one at a time so you can figure out what the problem is. But just because it's not related to throttle, it could be something else that's making your ESC act weird. But yeah, guys, that's how you troubleshoot an RC car. So now we know for sure it's this motor, which is absolutely crazy if you ask me, because that would mean that this motor wire has to be cut somewhere. I'm gonna take this wire out and inspect it, but that's pretty bananas. Again, motors usually don't go out unless they get burnt up. Pretty crazy. Another thing I see often when remotes don't work, like if a remote won't power on and you know you put fresh batteries in it, sometimes there's a little bit of corrosion on your battery leads in your remote and you have to basically just roll and move your batteries around. In the extreme case, you have to maybe get a little bit of sandpaper and sand down those battery contact points on the bottom of your remote. That typically happens on people who leave their batteries and leave their remotes untouched for like months. A little bit of corrosion can get out, but definitely check that if you can't get your remote to power on. All right, guys, quick update. I actually figured out what the problem was. One of these leads was actually loose. So basically all I did was kind of wiggled this, I think it was the negative lead, wiggled it, and then it started working again. I put some CA glue just to kind of seal it and make sure it doesn't move around, but I guess when it fell off, it broke that lead, but it was just a matter of me just kind of putting it back in place. So it should be good to go. I'm gonna put it back together here in a second, and we're gonna see if this thing rips. That was it, guys. Look, all hooked up. Oh, we're going again. Yes. All right, she's back. Okay, now we're gonna try the $1 million bridge. I'm gonna have to set you guys down because I need full concentration to be able to pull this one off. I've only done it once in my life, so let's see how it goes. All right, here we go, guys. Gonna get right under it. I'm gonna take my shoes off. I think this has a good chance. I don't know, maybe not because of the no. Dang it. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy.